Boy, hi internet. We're keeping it clean here because of YouTube's rules. I love YouTube. YouTube's the best platform on the earth. Are we past 8 seconds?
Wink.
Can we say the swear words? Probably
Love
not. YouTube.
Wait, is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna wait 8 seconds?
Allegedly. But then, you know, the rules sort of don't apply. And then they go back through your old videos to demonetize if you said the bad words at any point in history. Yeah. You know, the good stuff. Oh, I haven't even figured out if the live stream is set up right. Let's look at that. Click. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's the good stuff. Click that other button. Yeah, that works too. Perfect. Perfecto.
Don't mind me. I am just typing into a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
I had to move a hamper back up to the counter in our bathroom so that one of our cats would stop meowing out in front of my door.
Oh.
Because I don't think I was picking it up, but I'm pretty sure that would be really annoying to hear that the entire time.
Every 15 seconds. Meow. Yeah. Hi, internet. Yeah, Feyre, I don't know. No one really knows. That's the best part about platforms changing their rules around obscenities. No one really knows. It's great.
Wait.
I love it.
Wait, what about...
Oh, the whole YouTube thing where they're like, if you've ever said bad words in the past, we're demonetizing you. But only in the first 8 seconds of videos. Or maybe the first minute. Or maybe any of them. What are you going to do?
Huh.
Are you going to cross YouTube? They did that a couple weeks ago, and everyone's like, hey man, that sucks. I'm not going to be more explicit than that because, you know, maybe I can't be. But, yeah, that's cool. It's just my livelihood on this website, this Nightmare website. That's great. Thanks, YouTube. Yeah.
And then, before you know it, you'll have to go to officially sanctioned YouTube facilities to record your videos.
That's right. I hit you with a cattle prod if you say a bad word. Like unions. Oh no.
God, yeah. Turn the volt up to 11.
That's right. Oh man. All right. Are you guys ready to get started?
No, I'm typing in a spreadsheet. I just said I'm typing in a spreadsheet.
Well, I mean, we got patron stuff to talk about beforehand.
The pitter patter of little fingers across the keyboard.
That's right. It's just Louise.
Yeah.
Oh no, I closed the door because I am not in the mood for any of that crap today.
Yeah, if your head is bothering you, Louise is ready to just headbutt you at force.
Yeah, exactly, and that is not something I want to deal with right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, yeah, it probably should worth mentioning the glasses is because I have a migraine for anybody watching the video version.
Because Moon is too cool for all of you.
No, he just... The real secret is he just wants to take a nap. He's going to hit that mute button and just close his eyes.
Homeboy hit 5 podcast status, and he is too good to look any of you in the eye anymore.
Also...
Hold on.
I haven't shown
Critical
it off.
Misses, TVGP.
That's right.
We roguelike
Also,
it.
I haven't shown it off yet on stream, but I got the Nerf
nice
horn that is a little large.
I watched an unboxing video for that,
God.
and I was like, man, that is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Destiny store. Where is my fucking Galahorn?
I need you
assholes
to post a video of you shooting that thing.
I mean, it does the thing the gun does, allegedly, so...
That's why I want you to.
If you want to keep it in a box, then that's fine. I will happily fire mine off at children.
This is it without the barrel. So...
I love how they just
big.
added, like, all the orange to it.
Yeah.
I don't even know where my phone is, so I can't easily check my Destiny store because I've got 2FA on, and... Where the hell is my phone?
Well, here's your secure code, Moon. I'll tell you. It's 2QJF7.
Just forward me your MFA certification and
That's right.
Certificate, not certificate.
That's right. Just show a QR code.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I need my Galahorn, goddammit.
That's right.
Like, don't get me wrong. I've stopped playing Destiny, and as such, I'm not like getting that injected into my veins anymore.
Mhm.
But I still want my fucking Nerf Galahorn.
It's don't say it's still stupid. How heavy is that thing?
It's very heavy.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty.
Do you feel like you could hit somebody and they would be relatively okay?
No.
Or do you think they would need to sit down for a moment?
I don't think it would concuss someone, but it sure would not feel good.
It's not something you would want to walk into.
That's right.
My question is, do I have space on one of these walls?
Yes, you do.
How big of a hooks will I need to hook it up?
It's
So what you need to do, you see that rafter just above your light? Just put bike hooks down and just stack that thing right there.
Yeah, what I might do is like put nails into these, because this is the floor to the beams for the floor above.
Yeah.
Put nails into them and then just get like fishing wire and like have it hanging down, because you know it's not like the ceiling is low enough here for me to headbutt it in the first place anyway.
Or just go ahead.
The Bungie source says it is a 1-to-1 scale gun, so it is 4 feet / 1 meter long.
Nice.
It's big.
And weighs the estimated in-game weight of
how much does it?
62 pounds.
Let me see if someone has posted.
Unladen and
how much does it? Oh, sorry, the Nerf wiki has a page on it. Oh my.
Ooh,
goodness.
Of course it does. They
requires batteries. What?
Does it make noise?
Dude, it probably requires batteries because it fires a fucking football.
Oh, it lights up. Really? Okay. Wow. Fascinating. Gosh. Okay, hold on. I gotta close this wiki.
I enjoy the fact that the internet has provided us an endless window to nerdom in things that we didn't think nerds would be into.
That's right. And happily taking our cash.
Oh, yeah. But just whenever you've got a question, you find, oh, there's a random Wikipedia for this thing that I didn't know existed. It's like, obviously they know what they're talking about.
Right. I would hope, yeah. All right. Are you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, sure. My pre-show notes is I went bowling yesterday, and I played so well that 2 people quit after the first game.
Were they your kids? Or your girlfriend's kids? Did you make them cry in submission?
No.
No, the people that couldn't hang in the face of a true warrior, a bowling warrior.
And guess what? Bumpers are down now, kids.
That's right. Get ready for the show.
The bumpers were up. Thank you very much.
That's right.
I mean, honestly, that's the only way to truly play.
That's right.
Yes.
Try to see how many times you can bounce it off the side.
Yep.
But it was fun. But spoiler alert, just like everything else, bowling is fucking expensive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
The lights are bright and Moon's wearing sunglasses. Woo!
That's right. The future truly is bright over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are the digits. The numbers 1 and 1, by the way.
And speaking of the future, in 2 weeks, we have a brand new show premiering. Moon, would you like to talk about the new undertaking you've endeavored upon?
Yeah, so me and Nymph are stupid, basically. And we decided we were going to do a watchcast of the Supernatural television show.
Yep. All how many seasons?
15.
15.
Yeah.
So we're looking at probably a good 30 years of doing
That's right. 15 seasons of like 24 episodes apiece.
I did the math. If we do 2 episodes a month, so that's 1 season per year, basically, because it's 24 episodes a season. So it's literally 15 years.
Yeah. So if you want to get in on the ground floor, the very first episode of this comes out February 14th. It is a Patreon
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's right. It is a Patreon exclusive show at the $5 tier. It's going to be called The Wayward Sons for fairly obvious reasons if you have ever seen any part of that show. The first episode will be released for free on Patreon and on the public feed for TVGP, the place you're probably listening to it right now. So you can get checked out there. But if you're not a patron yet, or if you're not at the $5 tier or higher, head on over to patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones, numbers, you know the deal.
That's right. And you can sign up there, and you'll get all of the episodes as they come out. They come out every other week, starting on February 14th. And then if you're signing up at some point in the future, you'll get all the new episodes coming out after that, and you'll get the full archives. And you'll get all the other stuff, like the Outcast every week, the Uncensored. First off, after the first episode, Wayward Sons is uncensored, so keep that in mind. Just like the Outcast, the sort of peek behind the scenes, not only of the show but of our lives. We had trying some energy drinks this week, talking about some TV. You know, we got the regular stuff going on. It was a good one. And then you get early access to We Rogue Like It. The Shore Moon and I are just so many.
Why did I let you
trundling along?
Yeah, just so many. Stop releasing so many roguelikes for like a year.
Someone get on the horn with Ed McMillan, please, because I need to have a sit-down conversation with him about how this is all his fault.
That's right. It's
get one of your interns to call him.
Yeah, we've got those. Yeah.
Boston, make a note.
Okay. Write that down. And Pharaoh Reigns in chat asks, will Wayward Sons be opposite of Critical Misses? Yes. So essentially 1 week will be Critical Misses, the next week will be Wayward Sons, and then it will alternate going forward. And speaking of Critical Misses, you get early access to that too. The show where Moon and I are catching up on all the meaty hits we missed. We just started a brand new season here that's a little bit different. And we're kind of looking forward to it. Season 19 seems like it's shaping up nicely. Season 18 ended out surprisingly well, which I think we were pleasantly surprised with. So hoping good things for season 19. All of that stuff can be found at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers. Also, I woke up this morning and totally remembered something we didn't do during our Critical Misses recording. The most recent one we did, not the most recent. The end of season 18.
Yeah, I guess we didn't. There probably wasn't too much of a reason to rank them based on listening to them. It wasn't so much that. It was more we totally didn't talk about like the ratings given by the public at large. Right.
I was like, yeah, we didn't do that, but then who cares?
We did it for the first one. That's where it mattered, and we didn't do it for the second one. Mattered a little bit less. So
it's your show. You just put in there what you want, and if you forgot, it was intentional.
Yeah, it's a happy accident. Yeah.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah. So sign up for Patreon. $5 a month is a recommended tier that gets you everything, all of that stuff we just spent all that time talking about, and anything above that is greatly appreciated. Your financial support is great. If you have a rich friend, please tell them to go sign up and pay us like a lot of money so we can just put out more of these shows.
Yes, please.
Moon, what have you been playing this past certainly not totally busy week?
Well, okay. So basically, I've only really got 3 things to talk about here.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the obvious one. This is where is my phone gone? This is my phone game. I don't know. I literally don't know where my phone is, and that's kind of scary. That's an expensive phone.
Sweet freedom!
Yes. It is sharing its pixels with the world now. Because I got a pixel. Marvel Snap. I don't know what it is with this game, but like anytime like a season is running, which we're currently in a weird season, I don't know if they're going to do like a half week for the season pass or whatever. Like I'm curious. But anytime a season is running, I will like be really down in like the 20s and the 30s for like the ranking. And then all of a sudden at the end of the season, something just clicks, or maybe I just start thinking about what I'm doing more. And I start actually gaining ranks. I think I'm on like a 16-game winning streak at the moment. Using a hybrid Silver Surfer and Patriot deck with Stera thrown in there as well, just for fun.
Wow.
So there's a lot of options. It's probably my favorite deck at the moment because it doesn't depend on one particular thing. It is very much well, if this one doesn't play out, this one might play out, and if this one doesn't play out, this one could play out. So
Right.
it seems to have been treating me pretty well.
Hmm.
I did just get a bunch of cards which allow me to build more decks. I got leader a couple of weeks ago, so I've got leader decks to build now.
Nice.
And I also just got a super cool hazmat variant, which I haven't posted in Discord yet.
Mm.
But now I've got the hazmat loadouts to build out too, because I really want to try some of that D-bag energy of just being like, oh, you think you're so good? Check
Right.
out this
Reversal.
as I take away all of your card power.
Right.
Like,
I haven't been playing that much Snap this season because I all of the games that in my life that have a season pass or something like that, I have not felt like playing for the last couple months. Destiny, Fortnite, Marvel Snap, all that stuff. I just don't want to play any of that stuff. I would much rather. I feel like the pendulum has swung the other way, where I'm like, Chained Echoes, a single player pausable game. Heck yeah, let's do it.
I was just telling my wife that too this week, that I don't consider season passes to be like this new added thing that I want anymore. Like, it's not.
Yep.
I don't know if we all just got over it, because I like the idea, not the stupid ones, but I like the idea of being able to level it up and to earn stuff from it. But like you were saying, it's like with the way live service games turned out to be nowadays, like I just don't have an interest in it anymore.
You
like
missed
I don't have the
2
time
days
for
of
it
the
either.
game. How dare you? You missed 17.
Yeah.
It's more of them need to do the thing Master Chief Collection did, where it's like, hey man, you missed a year and a half of this game.
Dungeons.
Yeah, Minecraft Dungeons did the same thing. I think you were talking about that last week, 2 weeks ago.
Last week, yeah.
You miss a year and a half of the game? Cool. Pick whichever pass you want to level, pick whatever thing you want to do, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Or better yet, just take them out altogether and just put in-game collectibles back in.
Well, I think there's something, for me, I think there's something kind of appealing about a season pass when it's done really well, where it's like, here's a cool, like Marvel Snap has done this really well so far, where it's like, here's a theme. Like, this theme is Savage Land. So you get like a title, an avatar, card variants, all of that stuff is Savage Land themed. And I think that's really cool. Like, Destiny last season, 2 seasons ago, whatever, I had the pirate one. So it's like all of the weapons and the armor and everything was like pirate themed. So I like when a game has a theme like that. When it's kind of all over the place, it's like, I'm not sure why you did this, but I like when a game has a theme like that. But I agree with you. I'm sort of losing patience and attention for games that are like, you missed 7 hours of this game. How dare you? You missed everything.
So
anyway.
I have a rule, which is I will only ever pay for 1 season pass at a time.
Sure.
I was actually having that conversation with some housemates recently, how, like, because I got broken of that when I made the mistake of buying 3 season passes at the same time, which was Apex Legends, Destiny 2, and Dead by Daylight. I bought all 3 season passes. They were $10 each, whatever, at the same time. And then I literally did nothing in any of them.
I was going to say, you completed 0 of them. Right.
So my response to that was, well, I guess I'm never doing this again. And it's got to be something special for me to actually do it. Marvel Snap has it perfectly because it's a phone game.
Sure.
The game that I always have on me, it's like, oh, I'm going to go take a 10-minute break at work, or it's my lunch at work. I can throw out a couple of games during that time frame. It's not like I'm pulling out my controller, slotting it onto my phone.
Let's go to the cloud.
Streaming Dead by Daylight to my phone, and then playing a 45-minute game in 20 minutes, you know?
Well, and I think you have the right attitude a lot of times, too, with... like, I'll buy the season pass once I've finished it. So I hit, like in Marvel Snap, I've hit rank 50. I can get all the rewards. I've already did it. I'll just buy it now, and there's nothing... The added stuff you can get, that doesn't matter, but, like, well, that matters less. But I can now... I've gotten all the stuff. Let's go spend the 10... Throw the $10 in the jar and get all the things.
Yeah, that's just because of my addictive personality, where I want all of those endorphins at the same time. It's like, no, don't give me a drip feed it. Just give me it all
That's
at
right.
once.
Yeah.
Like I want one big smile, not a little twitch at the corner of the mouth, which is my default smile.
Right.
I'll say, and Call of Duty briefly, I don't know if they still do it or not, but they did have it good where once you got far enough in the season pass, you earned enough back to buy a new season pass without having to put more money into
Fortnite
it.
does that really well, where they give you
Okay.
enough of the currency. You only buy one season pass, and as long as you finish the majority of it, you earn enough for the next season pass. You're kind of always, if you're
Yeah.
playing enough, you're
Yeah.
kind of always earning the next one. Destiny, it would be really nice if you would do that. Thank you.
I was gonna say, I think the only two that don't do that I'm aware of is Marvel Snap and Destiny.
Yep.
Because Dead by Daylight does the same thing, where if you buy the premium version and you finish it, you get more than enough premium currency to buy the next one.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Thing
Marvel
is,
Snap is still really good.
It's a never-ending loop, but yes.
Sure.
Yes, Marvel Snap is very, very good.
Yeah.
I will. Little heads up warning here for future weeks of the show.
Uh-oh.
Pretty sure the games I'm playing is about to take a hard left turn into weird territory.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. All
Are you
right.
playing JRPGs?
No, visual novels. Let's do it. Here we go. Steins Gate. Yep.
Persona is on the docket already. That's already installed and ready to go.
Love it.
Thank
I
you
know.
very
That's
much.
why I was hoping that's what you were talking about.
Right.
Danganronpa just left Game Pass, so I'm debating buying that one because Danganronpa is a series that Boston has never shut up about, and
You would probably enjoy it if they're very good.
probably yes. My problem is that I am limited time-wise to specific time frames when I can play specific types of games.
Totally.
So Danganronpa, I'm pretty sure, is a
No. The
highly rated game in multiple senses.
Yeah, the blood the blood is pink, but it's still very much blood. Like I bought Forspoken this week. I haven't had time to start it because I have a small child around me nearly all the time.
My second game this week, and I love my typos by the way, is Monster Hunters. So that's Monster Hunter Rise for those who don't know. I've already fallen behind my boys. My boys, what have you done to me? You murdered my boys. No, they left me behind in the dust because of my limited time frame of playing these games.
If it makes you feel better.
like I said,
my son is way ahead of me than I can
Right.
catch up right now.
I got a text from Rob, a friend of the show, Rob, on I think it was like Friday or something, saying like, "Oh, by the way, I just hit the high rank missions." That's like Hunter rank 6, I think 6 or 7
Okay.
is the high rank missions.
Goodness.
And I'm like, dude, like I haven't even beat 2-star missions yet, and you're on like 8-star missions. Like,
You're
come
like
on.
rank 1.8.
So
Yeah.
like the video you're showing right now, Boston, I believe that's either a Rathalos or a Diablos.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Rathalos, which is one of my favorite monsters in the series. It's the Royal Dragons is essentially what they're called. It's the reason I got into Monster Hunter was because I had a weird thing for dragons. That's also why I played Drakengard. That horror
Everybody
series.
has a weird thing for dragons.
Well, and this is like one of the few kind of traditional dragon-looking Monster Hunter animals where it's like, yeah, that's a dragon. That's you got one of them.
Yep. So I actually fought a Rathian, which I think is the male version of that, which is a 3-star monster. Totally forgot they have poison tails. Great.
Oh,
Yep.
Now poison resistant armor.
great.
Fantastic. So now I have to fight the poison monster to get the poison monster bits so I can get the poison resistant armor. So fun times all around.
Yeah.
But Monster Hunter Rise is so good. And I'll be honest, I am surprised about how quickly I am flying through this based on my limited playtime, but also how much memory I have of fighting these specific like monster types. Like, for
Yeah, they
example,
didn't
I know
change
them.
anything.
There's a lot of them which are very similar to previous games. Like, there's not a whole lot of brand new attacks in there to say. So it's like, okay, I know how this monster's gonna attack me. I know how this monster's moves, and they do a really great thing in Monster Hunter Rise, which is where they'll give audio callouts. Like your character will yell, look out, it's up to something in a British accent, a snooty British accent, I should say.
Right.
When the monster is about to do a big attack. So it's like, then stop attacking, look at it, get ready to do your dodge maneuvers. Like
that's nice.
They've increased so much stuff, like so much accessibility options again. And the dog is a game changer by itself, because it's like sprinting from one side of the map to the other and not worrying, sharpening your weapons as you go, not worrying about stamina, getting your stamina back up to full, potions as you go too, and collecting the weird bugs as you go. It's just like, okay, yeah, if only this was the Monster Hunter World version of the engine, I would be so much happier, because World is beautiful. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Like, you remember how we all talked about Anthem when that came out, about whatever you want to say about the game, but that world is gorgeous. It still is, by the way.
Right.
Monster Hunter World is very much the same, where it's just like every single part of it feels so thoroughly fleshed out and designed to a T, but natural at the same time, not like this is deliberately placed here. It's just so good, like so pretty, and this is very much a case of, yeah, this was a Switch game first. Like, you could just see the slight downgrade in the graphics. But that's not saying much, because I put like 200 hours into this game on the PlayStation Portable, which I can barely play. So
right.
I adore these games. I will continue to adore these games. Have you played much of this one, Limp, yet this week?
No, I didn't have a chance to touch it at all, but my son was already telling me how he's on... I think he was telling me he's already on, like, 4-star stuff, and I'm like, I've barely done anything with 1-star stuff.
Right.
So they do a really interesting thing in this as well, is they've got the village missions, which you can only do by yourself, it appears. And they have the guild missions, which you can do with multiplayer. So you can do the old send out a request for help and, have multiple people join in, or you can do them solo too. But it appears like the village missions, because they're single player, are like the monsters feel weaker in that. Even like a 3-star monster in there is weaker than a 1-star monster in the multiplayer version.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because in the multiplayer version, you have the option for 4 people to come out and help you, or 3 people. So you've got 3 people, 3 dogs, and 1 monster. It's like, yeah, of course they're going to amp up the health on that thing just to make it a little bit more enduring against that amount of savagery.
Yeah, so you don't just roll up and roll over it, and as fun as that would be. I can't tell you how disheartening it still is to be doing 1 to 2 points of damage, fully understanding that that's just how the game starts. But it's like when I hit even the smallest thing and it's like 2 points of damage. I'm
you
like,
do like, rah! It's just like, oh, man.
Well, I also went into, like, just exploring the menus. I went into they have a really good, like, manual breakdown of each individual weapon, what it's good for, what the useful combos are. Like,
nice.
I'm using this switchblade, and I didn't know that if you do the wild swing, as it's called, which is where he basically just swings left to right to left to right to left to right, like a figure 8, basically. If you do that and then do the heavy attack, you can combo that and change it into the sword, which turns it into an uppercut. But by hitting the triangle/Y attack, it increases the speed that you get elemental charge on the weapon. So therefore, when you then hit the elemental charge, you can do a lot more damage. So it makes it faster and easier to get the element on. Yep. In my case, I'm currently using paralysis. So then the monsters I'm attacking get paralyzed, and then everybody just runs in and swings away because the thing is just standing there covered in electricity. It's a really... I did not know that until I happened to stumble in the manual, and then I was like, oh no. Now I'm going to have to go and practice with all of these other weapons. Because I see people coming in, and they've got the bow, and they've got the stupid giant horn that they like hit monsters with, and they go boop, 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 boop. And then everybody gets a health bonus, and it's like, okay.
I want to do that.
I guess I'm in for the long haul of ridiculous crafting and material grinding so I can get... Because... if you haven't played Monster Hunter before, there is like 15 weapons, and then every single one of those weapons has an upgrade path. But not just one upgrade path, they have an upgrade
3
tree.
to 4, yeah.
Which is like, here's the iron version, here's the bone version, here's the Rathian version, here's the Izuku version, here is this other version, and then each one of those has a tree itself. So it just becomes this situational thing. Like I said, I've got to kill the poison monster to get the poison armor, but then I will probably need a lightning monster to get a lightning weapon to do better paralysis stuff.
Oh, sure.
So it becomes this balance of what are you going to forge versus what are you going to hunt. And then once you start to learn them, it becomes a little bit like, okay, I want this set of armor, this loadout, so on and so forth. I did unlock traps, so now every monster I hunt is being trapped.
Okay.
Even in the multiplayer games, like all of these people I am like who are jumping into my game to help me when I do the call out for help or whatever, they're all a bunch of rookies. And I say that with the ultimate disdain because the second it says that they are weak and ready to be captured, everyone keeps swinging away.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
no,
put on the hurt
fools.
now. It's like, no.
Capture the monster. You get better stuff. Like
Right.
I don't. They
So
don't.
you get
seem to
more and
understand.
better, yeah.
It's like idiots. So every time that happens, I literally run in there with a trap and just like put it right under the monster and like stop it, stop it. I'm trying to capture the monster.
Go away.
So it's Monster Hunter is fine. It's fun. It's great. It's ridiculous. I love it. If you do need help with it, feel free to send me a message when I'm on. I'll happily help depending on how much playtime I have versus what I'm currently playing. If you see me playing Minecraft Dungeons, assume I won't be able to jump on. If you see me playing the amazing Ladybug game from the Disney shows.
Oh, I mean, Tales of Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir?
Oh.
How you know that? I don't actually know how you know.
Because I have a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chances are that time of the day, probably not.
You're
but
getting your
later
claws
into
out.
the evenings, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know how I fell down this rabbit hole in the first place.
Just like everybody, you randomly came across Try, and you're like, that looks cool, and you bought it sight unseen, and then at first you're like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But you gave it a try, and now you're like the rest of us.
Right. Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter. Yeah.
I think my first one might have been Freedom Unite, which was the PSP.
Even
wow, yeah.
better. Yeah.
Which, ironically enough, I think I got into Freedom Unite because I got into Peace Walker, and Peace Walker had Monster Hunter levels in it.
Yeah, and Peace Walker is similar in a lot of ways to Monster Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Less putting, extraction devices on monsters, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Less
I really
setting
wish you could do
kneecaps
that.
and more.
Yeah, if Monster Hunter wants to get me in, it needs to have the Fulton recovery unit. Let's talk about that.
I want a Fulton of Velociraptor. That's
exactly
what I want to do.
I'm not asking for a lot.
Like,
I mean, yeah. God, yeah, that would be hilarious. Just seeing
could
a
you imagine
massive
the noises
balloon.
they
Yeah.
Yep.
as they go, it's so great. And you got to attach like 6 to the big monsters just to get the you got to trap them, then attach the 6 devices, and then they do the leg kick all the way into the sky as they go. I don't know how that would work with the flying monsters, but fine, whatever.
Yep.
It's great. But yeah, I think that got me into Freedom Unite, and then Freedom Unite was the one where I downloaded that stupid thing for the PlayStation 3 where you could treat it as essentially
tunneling
a fake...
software.
Yes.
Yep.
So you could play multiplayer with people across the world, even though you couldn't do that on the actual PlayStation or on the PSP, I should say.
Yep.
Boy, were those the days.
Yes. And my final game this week. Of course, my final game. It had to be. My birthday is coming up. I had to treat myself. It's one of the best games of all time, period. I'm playing Dead Space 2023.
Awesome. Told Angel I figured you probably were, and I had absolutely no interest in going back to the Ishimura. Absolutely none. How about you, Boston? What do you think about it?
I really love the first Dead Space game, and I like 1 and 2 a lot. 3 is 3.
I I enjoyed all of them, but
number one, I really have to give them a ton of credit for the content options they have, where it's going to let you can actually blur out stuff that's truly horrific. You can turn down a lot of the blood and gore. It'll actually let you know when there are scenes of like self-harm or self-inflicted wounds or stuff like that. They'll let you know when that stuff comes up. I think that's super, super cool, and I really wish more games did it, because I think allowing, again, like we've talked about with all accessibility options, content warnings and content options like this, the more people that can play games, especially great ones like Dead Space, the better. So super, nothing I think that I would use, but maybe I might use it in a certain scene in 2. But like
no, if 2 gets remade, you have to play that scene. It is one of the best scenes in the game.
I don't want it. But
I don't care. You have to.
I haven't. I picked up Forspoken this week. If I wasn't interested in playing Forspoken, Dead Space might be on the docket to go back through it, because boy, does this game look so good.
That's the problem.
It looks foremost.
Yeah, it looks too good, and I don't want to deal with that right now.
right.
It looks how I remember Dead Space looking,
exactly.
which is it's the best compliment you can pay to one of these remakes. It's like, yeah, this looks the same. Spoiler alert, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It does not look at all the same.
Yeah.
Credit for where it's due. They gave Isaac a voice.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Because my knee-jerk reaction was like, oh no, I don't think I want that. But
so you say that, but then in Dead Space 2 he got a voice. Yeah,
which is fine. But you know, it's one of those things where it's like, we're talking about it in the Outcast this week, of, you know, how much does a remake stray from, this is obviously not Final Fantasy VII remake like Nimp said, where it's just like, that's cool and cute, anyways, over here in the different universe we're doing something different. You know, how much do you stray from the original to kind of make it maybe a little bit more accessible and welcoming to people to play?
See,
how do you make a horror house more acceptable for people?
That's right. No, more welcoming. Come in.
Or more welcoming. Yeah, there you
everything's
go.
Fine.
We need more bodies for
exactly
for tribute.
That's right.
I like it. I like the fact that he's got a voice straight away. He's talking like he's making suggestions. He's an engineer. He knows how to fix things. That's something that was missing from Dead Space 1, was people telling him what to do. It's like, no, I'm the engineer. I should know what to do.
Why do you think I'm in space with you guys?
Yeah. Oh, your elevator doesn't work. Yeah, it's because we don't have power.
Right.
Like he's making suggestions. He's guiding the narrative himself, which is great, because he's like, yeah, I can do this. I just got to go do this and this. And they're like, cool, get to it. And then, you know, you go and do the thing. I have a problem.
Okay.
You love the plasma gun so much more now?
No. My problem is this game has an impossible difficulty.
Oh, no.
Boston knows. Boston remembers.
Uh-huh.
So, the impossible difficulty, it's actually not as bad as it was in the first game.
Okay.
You get one save slot.
Okay.
You can save as many times as you want, but you only get one slot.
Okay.
If you die, it switches it to hard difficulty and you can continue, or you restart the game.
I love the little, kind of like, you can keep playing on hard. You're not good enough. It's just like, oh, ouch. Oh, my pride.
And for a game that has a lot of squishable, quick time deaths.
Well, and the change, too, with... Because when you clear out an area in this version, it's not clear anymore. So, like, the extra little, like, stab to the kidneys of, like, hey, you thought you were safe in this area, but no, they're still here in the Ishimura. Like, you're not gonna, you can't clear an area out anymore. Yeah.
So, I'm playing on impossible difficulty.
Nice.
I appreciate your dedication to, like, doing it from the get-go. Where it's like, I'm not gonna get my,
might as well
way
just
with
get out
both
of the
feet
way.
here. Yeah.
I have always been an achievement hunter, so I'm always about optimizing my route through a game. It's like,
Right.
yeah, I'm going to enjoy this, but why am I going to play a game 6 times if I only have to play it twice?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Eternal Sonata, with your 3 playthroughs minimum needed.
So rough.
So I don't get me wrong, I will probably play this game like 6 times because once the impossible task has been completed, the rest of it will be a cakewalk.
Oh, for sure.
Because I know for a fact that you get the hand cannon again for completing it on impossible difficulty.
Oh, wow.
And for those of you who were not around back then, and for those of you who don't know, the hand cannon is a foam finger that Isaac uses as a gun.
It is a hand
And he
cannon.
says,
Pew,
says, bang bang and pew pew
That's
out
right.
loud.
That's so
And it
good.
literally is a one-shot kill on everything in the game.
Yep.
Bosses, mini bosses, every single regular item, the indestructible thing at the end of the game. Spoiler alert, that thing can't be killed. Run away from it, please, if you're playing this for the first time.
Right.
All of that stuff is one shot and done with the hand cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So I will beat this game on impossible. I will do it. I don't care. I will do that. Will be my first playthrough. We'll be beating the game on impossible.
However many tries
And then
it
I'll
takes.
go
I
through.
was gonna say, just upload your save file.
That's right.
Yeah, that's real not easy to do on the Xbox. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation, it's easy. Upload it and then don't edit it, and then you can download it again. On the Xbox, it automatically syncs and resyncs frequently.
Yeah.
Can't.
So, no, you can't copy it to your USB drive. I looked.
I was gonna say, I was just about to suggest that, but
Disconnect from the internet. Let's go. We're going
Yeah,
old
there you
school.
go.
Unfortunately, I did look, and no, you cannot do that.
Oh, man.
Um,
All right.
Man,
Thanks,
So-
we're not gonna keep suggesting stuff to you if you keep shooting us down, man.
Hey, I'm just gonna keep shooting it down because I already thought of it. That's
right.
all I'm doing. Yeah. Again, cool guy thinks things first.
You know what?
Mhm.
How many external hard drives you got?
On which?
I
Bam.
plead
Found-
the fifth.
Yeah, found your loophole.
That's right.
On which? On my PC or on my Xbox?
Whichever one you're playing it on. Put a save file on there and
I
just
feel like
connect
you
it.
just answered the question.
Yeah.
On my Xbox. I
There you go.
have 3.
Oh, God. You know,
Hey, anytime I try and download something from the Xbox store, it's like, oh, you've got 14 megabytes free of like 8 terabytes. So don't even start with that.
right. You know, I do have to give this a game a lot of credit, though, because I feel like they did a lot more to modernize it more than kind of giving Isaac a voice. He looks a little bit different. I do really like how they made the suit look, and they made the health bar on the spine of the suit look different. Like they kind of they made things, because you're not on the 360 anymore at like 720p. Like people are gonna be playing this at 4K. They're gonna be playing it at 1080p. So not having everything be monstrously huge, I think is a really cool change to kind of streamline and modernize a lot of this.
And that lighting
Yeah,
looks really good too.
Yeah.
Especially from like
The
the
lighting is
consoles and stuff like
insane.
that.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like the HDR from like the orange and blue consoles that are shining like lights out into the air. It looks insane. It feels just like Dead Space, maybe a little bit like it moves a little quicker, a little smoother. I would say like he's not
Okay.
as plodding. It feels like the stomp still has a hell of a lot of weight to it. I
Still got that thud.
Isaac
That's right.
punch. Which, because nobody ever uses the Isaac punch. I mean, come on, we all use the Isaac stomp.
That's
Punch
right.
versus stomp, stomp wins.
Yep.
It's knife versus bat all over again. I will say I might have made a second mistake.
Okay.
For my birthday, I treated myself to a sound bar
Yeah. Join the soundbar crew. You and me.
because I like my television, but unfortunately the speakers on it are a little bit iffy. I usually play with headphones,
Mhm.
but these days I can't get away with that as much. So screw it. I bought a soundbar for Critical Misses, for
Right.
any games I'm playing, for TV shows I'm watching.
I've been super happy with
They-
the one that I bought. I got for Christmas. I got a Vizio one, like a 2.0 It's really like a 5.0.
I just bought I googled cheap soundbars, good quality, and then went to a bunch of ranking websites, and this one came up frequently. I don't even know where it is, but I picked that up. And because my television has optical out and my soundbar has optical in, so I'm getting the maximum quality sound I can take from my television. It sounds incredible.
Yeah.
And terrifying. All at the same time, because this thing is like giving me little scritchy scratchy noises all the time. And because the Dead Space 1 had impeccable sound design, and so does this one.
Dude,
so far.
I was gonna say, have you heard any of that yet?
Oh yeah.
Yep. The audio whispering, the creaks and groans of a spaceship in space that's falling apart is
so good.
Intense. Like,
this game is really good. I just hate that it's a horror game.
That's right.
Hey, I got all the achievements when it first released. All right, I put in my time.
I did my service.
Like, I think I realized that this is my jam. Like, I'm hard pressed to sit there and say, like, oh, what is your favorite genre of video games? One might argue roguelikes might be in that list, but I feel like at this point, that's just Boston with a whip over my back saying, say it!
That's right.
Say it!
Get back to work!
Like Two-Face and Batman, like screaming at me, say roguelikes.
That's right.
I think it's going to be probably two main genres. Number one, survival games. Because as much as Boston hates them, I love the rubbing a stick and a stone together to make an axe, and before you know it, you're building a spaceship and going to a different planet. Like, I love that stuff. And this, sci-fi horror games, horror games as a general, sci-fi horror games are the niche within a niche where I'm just like, yeah, give me that stuff.
That's for me.
Give me that. If they made a Star Wars version of this, it might be too much and I might explode.
Right. Too much good stuff.
If you made like some Sith person who lost their minds and is killing everybody and they're hunting you, like, and you have to like run around this sci-fi spaceship or space station like where everybody's dead from lightsaber attacks, I'm just saying.
Moon's available for hire.
That legacy book about the entire Star Destroyer that has nothing but zombies on it.
There you go. Everything's all ready.
Again, I would have to play it because it is Star Wars, but I would enjoy every moment of it.
That's right. That's right.
Appreciate, I believe, was the term.
Yes.
At the end of the day. But Headspace, I had to buy it, I had to play it, and it turns out it was probably a good investment because it's hitting that nostalgia trigger in just the right ways, but also at the same time is a modern and incredible looking, and so far playing. Good. I will probably curse this game next week after my first death, would be my guess, because I haven't even got to hydroponics, which is a lot. I haven't got to the big boys, which is a lot. I haven't got to any of that stuff, but because I have experience with the franchise, I remembered and I'm learning, and it's like, no, I'm going to use stasis every single chance I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the telekinesis thing every chance I can.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into a fight with somebody if there's a red barrel on the floor. I'm going to shoot it and
right.
not be an idiot.
That's right.
Or at least grab it and fling it at somebody.
As long as I'm far enough away from them to not blow myself up. That's
right.
my main concern. It's Dead Space. I love it. It's fantastic. That's all I've been playing. Never take me away from this nightmare in space.
All right. My first game, which is going to be a complete difference, and it's going to be really short, Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Oh, I'm hearing that 24 hours a day, it feels like.
All right.
Yes, ditto.
So we ran out of rechargeable batteries, and that my kids didn't tell me that we didn't have any that needed to be charged. So we had to gather all the batteries, and no one can play the Xbox out in the living room for a while. So I downloaded the game on my Series X, set it up, got the save file. My wife played it in here, and I broke her heart doing that.
Oh, no.
Because this game loads so much faster on the Series X.
Yeah.
It looks so much better on the Series X. and she's playing on a 1S. So
sure.
That is something I forgot to mention about Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Rise. It has like flavor text in the loading screens for the missions, and it 100% is the Dying Light thing of, oh look, there's a done loaded.
Once upon a time. Oh, never mind.
But yeah, that was pretty much. Oh, and I don't know why we have an older TV out there, like an older LCD TV, and the Xbox One S will not fit to that screen.
Oh, weird.
No matter what I do. So they have been used to playing it where like everything is cut off.
Yeah.
Both top and sides. And so she's in here on my massive TV, and she's like, oh my God, I can read the things on here. And then she pulls up, can I read the options in camera mode? And she pulls up camera mode, and now she's like taking pictures and stuff like that. Cause
I could do everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, she wasn't happy when I told her that, okay, batteries are charged.
Bye.
You can go back to the living room now. But yeah, she is, she's all caught up now.
Nice.
We were looking... She's been caught up for like a while now. We've been looking at the roadmap, and there isn't a newer roadmap at this time.
They just posted one this week.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, the next one, the next thing that's going to come out February, I think, is the general window for it, is Mirabelle from Encanto and Olaf.
Okay.
And then they have like 2 months later, there's another couple things. 2 months later, there's like some fuzzier things, and then in 2023, multiplayer is like the big thing. Which I sent a message to my wife. It's like, multiplayer, let's do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the only thing that we could find looking at it earlier last week was just the them talking about how they're moving this to free to play this year sometime.
Right,
but
yeah,
nothing
like
has been official about it.
Once they're at like 1.0, they're doing free to play. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, my wife's fine with, but she's got like so many, what are they called? Like the dream drops or whatever.
Yeah, the moon Dreamlight
something.
points.
Yeah. The season pass stuff, because that, she knocked all that stuff out, like, within the first 2 weeks of it. Yeah. Right. No, she's hardcore about this game.
Yeah. So, I'm impressed.
Which then I tease her. It's like, all right, so when are they going to start adding like, the Marvel stuff in here?
Right.
The
When's
Star Wars
Tron
stuff?
in there?
Yeah, that's the stuff I care about.
Right.
But that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Probably not.
The only thing that she is still hating, and she brings this up every time, is that there is an achievement for having 30 friends.
Yeah, you build the houses for 30 friends, I think is
something
the specific
like that. Yeah.
one. Yeah.
There aren't 30 characters in this game yet, and there's 0.16% of people who have this achievement, and she gets angry every time she sees it. And I'm like, baby, they're probably just testers.
I think you're seeing the developers playing their own game.
Yeah, it's like, it'll come to that point. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because the thing, for anyone that maybe hasn't been playing this, this game is technically in early access, and it's technically a beta, really. Yeah. But they don't say that anywhere. So there's all these achievements or trophies that you can't get because there aren't 30 friends in the game. There aren't X number of plants in the game. There isn't Y number of whatever. So like you can't get the platinum, you can't get the 1,000 points yet because the game isn't 1.0 yet. It isn't at the free to play release. So like, you can't do all this stuff yet, which is pretty frustrating.
It is, but there's also like several achievements / trophies in there where it's like talk to your friends like 5,000 times or whatever.
Earn 18 million coins. Like
you've got a while to go before getting it anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, she still hops in. They have dailies, I believe, correct? Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, they don't call them dailies.
They're like they're like rotating things that you can do.
Duties. The thing that I really like about the duties actually is there's typically like one of the screens in the game has like 6 duties in it, and every time you finish one, it fills in with another one. So it's not like finished all 6 duties. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. It's just like,
see you in 24 hours.
You took a picture and now talk to Mickey 3 times today. You did that. Bake an apple pie. Like there's always something for you to do. It's not really a live service game, even though it has like a season pass and seasons and content drips and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice.
But yeah, she's still having a ton of fun with it. So for the price of Game Pass, I'm glad she's enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. Speaking of Game Pass, GoldenEye 007 came out.
Oh, I know. I haven't played it yet.
I only played a little bit. My son played it as well. Boy, does that look like a Nintendo 64 game. And boy, am I here for it.
Yeah, they didn't do that much to it. A lot less than I was kind of expecting them to.
And I kind of don't mind.
No, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the development of this game. So I had just assumed that they were doing like a full-on like remake.
Yeah, like from the ground up kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without looking at it at all, get into it and I see like all the copyrights and stuff, and then I see the opening with you looking down the gun barrel, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. They kept the old Nintendo 64 graphics. And then I get into the game and I'm like, oh, they just put out the Nintendo 64
Yeah, it's
graphics.
still that game. Okay.
Which is fine. So as people may not be aware,
Is this a Switch limitation, do we think?
No, the development of this has been long and troubling because the unreleased 360 version has a significant amount of improvements.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that there's still some legal issues where they're like, yeah, you can re-release it as long as you literally don't touch any of it, and we agreed to the original release, and that's what you're going to put out.
Yeah.
It's like, sure.
But what's in there isn't bad. I mean, it's still a fun game to play.
Yeah.
But people have to remember that when this game originally released, there was no such thing as 2 analog sticks.
Right.
Having a analog stick was still a new and futuristic thing at the time.
Yep.
So this has very heavy aim assist.
Yes.
But the second analog that we all know and love now works perfectly fine with this.
Yeah, which is nice.
So it's really funny that you can hold down the left trigger and you can get your little reticle to pop up, which on most weapons doesn't do anything unless you have the sniper rifle. Then it will actually zoom in and out. So you can either choose to try to be quote unquote precise about your aiming, or you can just do what I do and just run through the map and your gun just automatically points at the enemies and you just pull the trigger.
Nice.
And you're basically just speed running it.
Great. I love it.
My son and I did run into the same, it's a user problem, in that we get to the gate that the truck is sitting at on the first level, and I couldn't remember how I was supposed to open the gate. So you do your normal thing of, okay, hit a bunch of buttons, nothing happens, shoot it, nothing happens, look up a guide, being like, okay, how do I open this stupid gate? And then everyone telling you walk up to it and hit the action button. You're like, oh yeah, this has an action button.
Yes, an N64 game. Right.
Yes. Pull up the options menu to look at your controller to figure out what button is the action button, and then walk up to the panel and it switches to green.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, other than that, it's been fun. I only did like the first 2 levels. I didn't even beat the second one because I was just kind of running through, screwing around with stuff. It seems like it'd be fun to do the multiplayer again with my son. But yeah, it's 007. If you've played the original, it's literally the exact same game. If you've never played it before, just jump in, throw it on Agent, and just run and gun.
Yeah,
and
just have fun with it. Like,
yeah, see where it takes you. There is a ton of unlockables, well, like secrets, which you will probably have to look up a guide for, because I remember some of them being pretty far out there on what you had to do. So,
yeah, beat the facility in 1 minute and 17 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, there was that. There was something else. I vaguely remember there being a thing where you had to find like a hidden button on a level to unlock a secret later on in the level.
That sounds right.
And it was one of those where it's like if you didn't know that there was anything on that level, you would never really find it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, 007 looks and plays legit.
Nice.
My next game is Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, let's talk about Hi-Fi Rush.
Since this is on Game Pass as well.
I really want to play this game, but I had limited time.
I have played a handful of hours of this game. If anyone hasn't seen this, Tango Gameworks, who made The Evil Within and
Evil Within 2.
that other game, the one with the first-person magic slinging game that came out on PS5. Anyways, they came out with a game on Thursday when the Microsoft Developer Direct launched. They're like, hey, we've been working on this game. It's out this afternoon on Game Pass.
Yep.
And
it is bright and cheerful.
Yeah, I think the most positive thing I can say about this game, I am really enjoying it, is they made like a Dreamcast original Xbox type of game. Like it is a character action kind of third-person platformer beat-em-up game that is really bright and has incredible animations. Like after your main character in like the first 15 minutes gets the augments on his body, and the animation when he wakes up and the bed he's on just ejects him against the wall, like the direction of that is, I genuinely laughed out loud, and I don't know the last time I've done that with a game.
It feels pretty fluid too, and
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people online comparing this to like Beautiful Joe on the GameCube.
Oh sure, yeah.
Given the vibes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was feeling with the jumping around and the attacking a little bit, kind of like a Ratchet and Clank vibe a little bit.
It's very much a Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah, and I'm just really liking it. I have only gotten up to the first time you get to their hideout. I don't know if that's...
I'm in the next level after that, so I'm not too much past that.
Pretty much, yeah. This is a rhythm-based game.
Yeah.
Technically.
Like a rhythm-based beat-em-up.
Yeah. You do not have to actually follow the rhythm, so don't let that scare you off. The rhythm is just there as to like kind of add critical damage to your attacks.
Basically,
so if you're on the rhythm, you will just get extra damage. If not, you will just do normal damage. So you're not gonna get screwed over like the other rhythm games that you've heard on this show, where it's like if you're not hitting the rhythm, you're not doing anything.
And the cool part about the game is that your little robot cat, whose name is 808, which is a genius name for that cat, is bopping over your one shoulder, and that shows the beat. Your character is also snapping to the beat. Everything in the game moves on the beat. So like,
which is a very cool looking thing in the game.
So like everything you're doing in the game is showing you what the beat is. So if you want to get that kind of extra damage or extra points or extra style points as you're on the beat, you can do all that. And there's an option in the game to turn on the BPM, the bolt per minute style thing, where the beat is moving into a thing in the middle, very much like how Crypta the Necrodancer did as well. So if you need the explicit visual style meter, you can do that too.
Or, like I was saying, you can just completely ignore the beat and just play it as an action-adventure game.
Yep.
Your character also, whenever you do an attack or a dodge, they also like whistle out like a music note that you can see.
Yep.
And that's your beat indicator for, okay, I can do the next thing based on that beat as well. Mm. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can look at to try to figure out what beat you're going to be on. Mm-hmm. And they also, the tutorials also show you that like your light attacks, you know, they're every beat. Your heavy attacks, they're every other beat.
Right.
And what was it, the special? I don't think the special is tied.
No, dodges go on the beat too.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and some of the platforms, like you see with this one, some of the platforms move specifically on their own rhythm.
It doesn't
to the
like
beat,
smoothly go. It goes like chop, chop, chop on the beat.
Yep.
And it's a super cool feeling to be going through the game, and everything in the world moves on the beat. Like, everything in the environment moves on the beat, and it's really, really cool.
And it's really fun too.
Yeah, I think I'm glad you mentioned Ratchet and Clank, because that's what this game reminds me of the most, of just like, here is a bright, fun action video game that is just fun to play. Like, it looks great. Like, playing this game in 4K, it's so incredibly sharp looking that you're probably not going to get with YouTube compression or anything like that. But like, it's just fun to play. It's not, the first boss you fight is actually fairly challenging. Not impossibly so. It's also set to a Nine Inch Nails song, which is shocking.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. Go ahead.
But like, it's just one of those games. It's like, I'm just having a blast. I'm smiling the majority of the time I'm playing this game. It's really well written. It's really well voice acted, and I like that the main character knows that they're kind of dumb, and everybody's named after like foods and stuff. So the other character you meet is Peppermint, and she's like, you're not super smart, but I'm going to send you into these dangerous places anyways, because you seem to be happy throwing yourself
all
at
about
the world.
it.
Yeah, because he's like, I don't really care what I'm doing. I'm just happy. Like, I got a mechanical arm. Like, the very next move you learn is resolves one of my big criticism of the game of, it may not look like it when you're looking at videos of it, but initially the game feels a little bit slow to move through, even with the dash move. The very first thing you learn in the second level is a grappling move. So your arm is like a magnetic grapple hook that you can grapple onto enemies as well. So
that was actually something that I was complaining to my son about. It's like, it's really weird that you don't have a run button in this game.
Yeah, because you have like an air dash and a dodge move and all that stuff. And I'm like, but I need to get to the enemies faster, and almost immediately you unlock that. So you're jumping, you're zipping to enemies, you're zipping through the environment. I'm like, all right, now that was the last concern or complaint that I had. Now I feel great.
Yeah.
So
the other thing I was going to bring up is I was actually surprised at the amount of licensed music that's in this game.
Right, because when you first fire up the game, they're like, hey, if you're streaming this game, got some of that licensed music on. Pick no on this option if you don't want to get in trouble with Twitch and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, sure, you got a licensed song or two in here, but there are a lot of licensed songs in there. Yeah. Which
is probably going to be a future pain for the company when they try to do other things with it. But yep. Other than that, though, I really like it. The graphics on here are pretty fun, too. They have like that weird cartoony Borderlands look to them.
Yeah, like it's kind of cel-shaded, but not the cel-shaded you kind of think of when you hear cel-shading. It looks really good. It runs really well. It just
cel-shading 2.5.
That's right. I think the thing that I want to express the most with this is I'm just having fun. Everything about it is fun. The writing is fun. The jokes are landing. The music is good. Like, even the non-licensed music is really good. Yep. It's just fun. If you have Game Pass, please download it and try it. It starts a little bit slow, but it kicks out pretty quickly.
Yeah, because that was definitely one of the first things that I did was when it started playing the non-licensed music, I was kind of curious, like, okay, how long do these tracks run? Mm-hmm. And do they switch, or do they just play the same thing? And they seem to switch up a little bit. And the best part, too, was noticing how, like we were talking about, how everything in the move, anything that moves is moving to that beat.
Yep.
So when they switch up the music, you can see everything switch to whatever track is currently playing.
It's really clever.
It's a really good attention to detail that they've put into this game. So, and I also like the fact that during a loading screen, how quick they are, how the cat has like the little heart in its tail, and all the other dumb stuff.
Remembering this part they're showing in the video, the kind of as you're leading up to the boss of this first level, the main character is like, look, it's an exit. There's like a big exit sign. It's basically like, go this way, and the other character's like, that's bait, idiot. And it's like, and he's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, it'll be fine. It's like, that's
it's
great.
obviously a trap.
I love
But
it.
yeah, with like this video too, like you talk to the robot and he's talking about how he just did this great stacking job on these boxes that are breakable, and it kind of looks like a horse. And you talk to him and he talks about how great of a job he did and how he really enjoys it, and then you destroy it. And then you talk to him again and he's like, well, at least I have a photo to remember how excellent
it's like
of a job
the memories
I did.
remain. It's just yeah. This game is really great, and I'm super glad that Tango Gameworks made it, because it feels very much like a game that like Clover would have made on like the PS2 era. Like it feels very much like that, and it's highly recommended. It's a blast.
Yeah. Moving on to my next game, sticking on the Game Pass bandwagon, I checked out Potion Craft.
I downloaded that the other day because I think Moon had talked highly about that.
Did you play it, Moon?
Nope.
Oh, it's the Hannah. I'm sorry.
Interested in
okay.
TVGP alumnus, the Hannah, had said, like, hey, this game is going to be a problem for you because it's really good.
It already is for me. So, Potion Craft, subtitled Alchemist Simulator, is a game where you are an alchemist who just shows up in a village and you take over this dilapidated, I guess, house that a wizard apparently used to live in. So the story just tells you, hey, your character went through and, you fixed it up and you cleaned it out, and now you can do your alchemy stuff here, and you've opened a shop. So now all the villagers can come to you and, buy your wares. This plays in 5 different panels with menus.
Okay.
The main panel that you're looking at is where you make the potions. Then you can hit left on the D-pad. That will bring you to the shop panel, where you will see your customers come in and they will ask for specific potions. The right panel is your garden, where you get all of your ingredients for the potions. Downstairs is a busted machine that I haven't done anything with yet, but that looks like it turns into something useful. And then upstairs is your bed, so that way you can sleep and move on to the next day. My routine so far is, when I have waken up to start a new day, I go into my garden and get everything that's there. I then go into the shop, so that way I can see what customers I have. And your customers will say things like, hey, I got bit by a fish. I need something to heal this.
Haven't we all been there?
Yeah. You do not get a time limit. So
nice.
While that customer is standing there telling you, hey, I got bit by a fish, it's like, okay, you want a healing potion. So you can go back into your shop and you've got like a cauldron. Oh god, I forget.
Like a mortar and pestle and some like distilling thing.
Yep, the distilling thing just adds water to add base to your potion, which I'll get into later. The main thing that is happening is you can put ingredients that you get throughout the game, either through a merchant or from your garden, into your cauldron. And behind that is a map. And what you are seeing, where that potion icon is at, that is where you start. You're at the middle of this map. And as you add ingredients, different ingredients change what direction that little potion icon moves to.
Yeah, it's almost like the FTL map, where you're like maneuvering through the map in the background while you're making the potion.
So you'll get one, like the one that's showing now, whatever they just threw in, drew like a little wavy line going to the right. So if you just put that item into your cauldron, it will only go half the distance. But if you put it in your mortar and grind it up and then put it in there, it will go the full distance.
Okay.
The difference being, depending on what you're trying to make and what you're searching for on this map, you may not want to go the full distance, or you may only want to go the full distance. Because what you're looking for are little potion icons that have question marks in them. And you move your potion icon to that icon, and you've created a new potion.
Okay.
When you've created the potion, you can also either choose to save what you did, so that way you can just auto-create that potion using the same amount of ingredients and everything, or you can just leave it be, and then it'll still be on that map, and you can find maybe a more efficient way to get back to that potion and save that way, so you're not using as many ingredients. or maybe you just decide that, this is a one-off thing and I don't care, whatever. But either way, once you figure out how to make the potion that the person is asking, you go back to the shop menu and there's scales there. And based off of their description, you grab one of the potions that you made and you put it on the scale. And if it's what they're looking for, they will look happy and the scale will even out. If it's not what they're looking for, the scale will just drop on the side that the potion is that you put it on, and the person will look angry, which then brings in your reputation.
Oh no, that's a problem for me.
Depending on how helpful you have been to people, your reputation will go up. If you tell somebody, like I have people who keep asking for like explosive potions. I have no clue where that is on this map. There's also a fog of war, so you can't just see the whole map.
Okay.
You uncover it as you move your little potion icon. So I don't know where on this map the explosive potion is, and at the time I didn't have a whole lot of ingredients to kind of explore. So I had to tell the guy, go away, I don't have this.
Right.
Which, you get angry little reputation icon and you're -1 and blah, blah, blah. I'm still early enough that I don't care.
Yeah.
But I had this one guy come back like several days in a row asking only for an explosion potion. And eventually an icon popped up that said, tell them to stop coming here.
Oh, okay.
So eventually, if you turn a potential Patreon away enough, you can tell them do not come back.
Interesting.
And I'm assuming that gives you like -20 reputation or something,
right.
But that option is there for you to do if they keep coming to you with weird stuff.
Interesting.
I've had one guy come to me a couple times saying, I need a fast-acting poison, no questions asked.
Don't
Here's
worry about it.
120 gold.
Oh, boy, okay.
I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, depending on their description, you can kind of figure out what you need, and sometimes they'll just come out and say flat out, I need a healing potion,
okay,
or I need a poison. But a lot of times it's more like, hey, I need something to help crops grow faster, or I have a rat problem, and then like from that you kind of figure out, okay, I need to make a poison for the rat problem and a growth potion for the vegetables or whatever that they need.
Yeah, because in this video we have playing here on the video version, the interesting thing is that the guy that came up was like, hey, I got like a little bit hurt. It's not that bad, but I can't let go for a month. So like, can you make me a healing potion, but it's not too serious? So you made a weak healing potion. And I was like, all right, that's a pretty cool system.
Yeah. And with the potions, it's also based back to the icons on the alchemy map. If your potion icon is just barely touching the actual potion icon on the map, you make a type 1 of that potion, which would be like the weak potion.
Okay.
If you get your icon more in line with the icon, you make a type 2, which is like a medium potion. And if you get it like dead on outlined, you get your type 3.
Interesting.
It's like your maximum potion. So you have different variations of the potions, and you can start adding like effects to potions, which I haven't really gotten into just yet. The base thing that I was talking about is you can add more water to your potion, which is called base, and it will pull your potion icon back to the start. Not like automatically, like you can control it,
but it comes closer to the start point.
So it starts working back to the start point in case you overshoot something that you're trying to explore.
You're diluting it a little bit.
Yep. If you also look at the map, you will notice that there are skull and crossbones on the map, or like little bones and stuff. If your potion icon, no, not yet. If your potion icon goes into that field, the little blue potion liquid that you have in your icon will slowly start to go down. And if you stay in that field and all of it disappears, you failed making a potion. So you have to negotiate. And there's other things. There's like pitfalls in here that look like little whirlpools. I'm assuming, I haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming if you go in there, it just sucks up your potion and you automatically lose it.
Man, this game seems cool.
Or I don't know. Maybe it does something really cool and it elevates the status of the potion.
Right, like maybe you need
I haven't
it for
tested
something.
it yet.
Yeah.
There's also a haggling system in here, which you saw. That was the bar that was moving back and forth with the tabs inside of it. A guy will tell you, you can try to, like, somebody will come to you and say, hey, I'll pay you 10 gold for your health potion. I'm like, well, you know, the minimum standard right now is 12 gold. And I'm like, what can you do for, you know, what can you trade for me? And sometimes you can get like 10 gold and here's some extra herbs. Or, you know, 10 gold or maybe like 6 gold, but hey, here's an herb that you don't have that you really want, kind of thing.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of different things that you can do in this game, and it's been pretty fun. I've already come across Geralt from The Witcher, who I didn't know was in here.
Great. I like
he
that.
does not say who he is,
right?
But you know
he's doing some witching.
And you can ask him, hey, what do you do? And he's like, oh, you know, I just hunt.
Me, my
but
two
not
swords.
Like normal things. I hunt like goblins and trolls. And I'm like, yeah, you do.
Right.
So yeah, it's been really fun. And the entire time that you're doing this, you are also leveling up. And every time you level up, you get a skill point.
Oh no.
And you can put that skill point into, hey, as I'm moving my little potion icon around, I can upgrade it so that it starts to reveal more of the fog of war that's on this map. Or
so instead of filling bars, we're filling jars, is what you're saying.
Hey,
yes, all the way.
Got it.
Or it's like with the haggling, it's like you can improve your haggling so that your potions start out at a higher price than what they did when your game started, but it also improves your ability to haggle back and forth as well. Or you can improve, like, there's like 4 things that you can pick up that you can put your skills into. So that's all I've been doing. Everything is movement based. You put something into the cauldron, you grab the stick and you waggle your analog stick back and forth to move the potion icon around. Same thing with the pestle, same thing with you know, igniting your flames and all that. That's all you moving your stick around. So
this game seems real cool. I need to play this.
It's a lot of fun.
Potion craft, right?
Yes.
Potion craft.
I've also already upgraded my alchemy book so that I have more pages into it, so I can save more potions, so I can just automatically make them.
Right.
Which has been really great. So it's been really fun.
Yeah. And this is on Game Pass, right?
Correct.
Great.
It's also on PC, which is where it originally came from, because it's more of a mouse game than anything else. But I didn't check to see if it's on any other consoles.
Yeah, I was going to take a look.
It is, since it's on Xbox. But
yeah, I was going to take a look here. It seems like it's on Switch, which was probably a pretty good place to play that. Waiting for the Switch store to load how much it costs. Releasing spring in 2023 is how much it costs. Thanks so much. I don't know what else it came
for the fine price of your future.
That's right. It looks like it's out on Xbox only and PC at the moment, but it's coming to Switch here in spring.
But I mean, it is definitely a fun, just sit down and chill game. Like there's like I said, there's no time limit on anything, and even with the little dotted lines with your ingredients when you're making a potion, if you've blacked that all the way out, like you've moved, I guess the little X for where your icon can move, you don't even have to go that full distance to start. You can kind of change it a little bit. But that's some upgrade stuff that you have to do. So there's a lot of customizing and being able to change out where you're moving around in this map, and it's just stupid fun and entertaining. So I am looking forward to playing more of it. I just don't know how much more I can put into it. I don't know how long this is going to be. This kind of seems like one of those things where it's just like an endless runner. Where
you play a little bit. You just
play it until you get tired of it.
Right.
There's also a log. So they're at the very bottom right. It is constantly telling you, hey, you should work towards like building the explosion potions.
Right.
And once you do that, you get a little check mark, and then you get a skill point.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole list of things for you to like check out and do and just mess around with. So it's a lot of fun. And the game definitely, it tells you right out the gate, explore. Don't worry about failing. Just dump a bunch of stuff in the cauldron and see what happens. See where it takes you.
That's cool. I gotta play this.
I'm having a ton of fun. But moving on to my next game, Dying Light 2. Angel Eye and myself are playing this again. And we didn't necessarily break the game, but we definitely cheesed a boss.
Right.
We walked in. We had to walk through an ISO container to get into a new area in this church, and of course, when I get out of it, I'm looking around. I'm like, oh yeah, this just screams boss arena.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah.
A big room full of cover. What are you talking about?
That's right.
And a lot of random items and just dead bodies everywhere and pillars and stuff. So, obviously we walked to the opposite door and it doesn't open.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone's like, oh, hey, you fell for my trap. And I'm like, no, I knew this was happening. Yeah. And then, of course, something starts banging on the other side of the door, and because our character's an idiot, he just stands there going, what? Right. And then this massive tank zombie just busts through the door.
Yeah.
And that's our boss to fight. I ran away because I was like, well, we are way too close to this thing. Mm. So I jokingly ran back to the ISO container. This container is set up so that way it only had slits, so your character takes like a brief cutscene to just kind of shimmy in between the half-open doors, and there's a UV light inside so that your immunity doesn't keep going down.
Okay.
I discovered during this boss fight that is still active and you can still go through those doors.
Oh, nice.
And the boss cannot follow you.
Yeah.
And it cannot hit you, and it cannot throw things at you. But the crack is just big enough that I can toss Molotov cocktails through there.
Hell, let's go.
And it's just big enough that Angel Eye can shoot arrows at the boss while it's standing there at the door.
Perfect.
And I will say, I had a brief moment where I screwed up. I got a little too close to the door and I cannot talk today. Reinitialized the little cutscene of you getting through the door, which then put me back on the side with the boss.
Oh.
Who was right up against the door, so I couldn't do it again to get back in because I was being shoved up against the door by the boss.
Right.
So I had to like kind of shimmy and move around to be able to get back through there. And yeah, we hid in the container and threw stuff at the boss until it died.
Nice.
And then the guy was very angry that we killed his creature. We're like,
right.
Tough Skittles, we made it. So neither one of us remembers what's going on. Again,
naturally.
Shocker.
I know it's more fun to be surprised every time we turn this game on.
That's right.
Especially when they start talking about. We had this talk with this one guy named Juan, and the dude wanted us to portray the guy that we were working for, Matt. Mm-hmm. And Angel Eye and myself are sitting there just talking during the cutscene, and then it pops up saying, do you work for Juan and betray Matt, or do you stick with working for Matt? And we were both like, do you remember who Matt was? No? Then screw it. I guess we're working for Juan.
Flip a coin. Here we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've been having a lot of fun dealing with that stuff. A lot of weird, crazy deaths as well, of falling off of buildings because... hey, we weren't paying attention to the stamina bar, and we parachuted, which takes away a significant amount of stamina, and I'm still 40 floors up in the air, and I can't do anything but fall. So,
whoopsie.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, we're still having fun just shooting the ass plane, so...
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
If anybody else wants to join, we just kind of randomly jump on whenever. Usually he reaches out to me just asking if I'm available. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Mm-hmm. I wasn't on Discord for a good portion of this week, so I didn't see that he sent me a message on Friday asking if I could play that night. And I opened Discord Saturday night, saw his message. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm down. And he's like, all right, you have to give me a minute because that was yesterday.
Yeah, that was like 23 hours ago, man.
Sorry. And then my final game for this week, Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Man, I'm telling you, you guys need to play this game. It is really cool.
I don't is the whole point. I don't need another 60-hour game that I'm going to get hooked into.
60
I've got
hour.
7 on the docket.
No.
Achievement Hunter.
No, good sir.
Hunter.
No, achievements 100% are like 80 to 90 hours, my friend.
Exactly.
God, this has so much of the comic book campiness in it that I am really loving it. Mm-hmm. I am in a book club.
Okay.
With Captain America, Blade, and Captain Marvel.
I love it.
The book club started because Blade has a crush on Captain Marvel and invited her to read one of the books that he wanted her to read, which was The Art of War.
Okay.
And
I was going to say, was it the Necronomicon?
No. So as he is discussing this with Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel, sorry, Miss Marvel is a completely different character. Captain America overhears it and says, "Hey, I'm really interested in reading that as well. Let's, you're doing a book club. Can I join?" So then Blade invites you because now Captain America is the fifth wheel and quote unquote, you even him out.
Great.
So, and it's literally just a book club. Like when you say, yes, I'm ready to do the book club, they take you into the library of the Abbey, which is an area you can access at any point in time, but they put up dividers in the back part of the library next to the fireplace, and there is punch, and there is food, and you guys all sit down and literally, like, there is an actual book that you have to read in this game. So far, you don't have to answer any questions. You just have to, like, read the book in game.
Right.
To, quote-unquote, get the credit for reading. But they sit down and they talk about the book.
Oh, this is really great.
You get like these one or two questions asked, like, "Oh, how do you feel?" Or what do you think this represented, or whatever. And you have your three options, and you can literally choose any of the three. It doesn't seem to matter. And everyone just kind of tarries on. It's like, "Oh yeah, you bring up a good point and all this." And like, man, I am in a video game talking about the art of war.
What is this, Persona?
Yes, a space alien and a super soldier.
Right.
So after we complete the first book, Blade has Carol, Captain Marvel, pick out the next book for book club. And it is basically the Kree? Whatever the alien race is.
Yep.
It is basically their version of The Art of War.
Oh, that's great.
So you pull this up and you read it, and it's the same exact thing, where it's like Captain America is sitting there talking about how at first it seemed really over his head because the book is talking about farming and agriculture. But when you really read in between the lines, it is talking about how the Kree invaded places, but then made sure that those places were really up and running and able to be defendable, so that way they can, like, this whole, like, I'm talking like whole literature club thing.
That's great.
That I'm sitting there going, man, you guys read way more into this than I did. I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, no, that is how you shuck wheat.
Right.
So, the best part about these clubs, because so far there's been 3 clubs. The book club is the newest one I was in. There's the shop club, which is Peter Parker and Robbie, the new version of Ghost Rider in this game. And Tony Stark eventually shows up in there, and there's a bit of iffiness going on in there, but there's that for the shop class, and the original quote-unquote club that you get is the emo kids, which is Magic, Doctor Strange, and Nico.
Okay.
And
so it's theater class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, emo class is actually about magic, and Doctor Strange, or Doctor Spooky, had he is in this game. He is the version of Doctor Strange who is way into himself and he's really super technical. Like him and Tony both. Like Tony's always portrayed as being technical, but in this game specifically, they are both very technical on the magic field and the scientific field. So Doctor Strange had like this whole long thing of what the club was called. And Nico was like, yeah, I just moved a couple of the words around and made it into the emo kids club. So, the best thing about these clubs is that you get shirts for them.
Yes.
So I have an emo kids club, I have a shop class club, and I have a book club t-shirt.
That's great.
And it's even better that I have them change their costumes daily, or their street attire.
Because then they wear different codes every day.
Yes, and it has happened a couple of times now where it's like I went into book club and Blade and Carol are wearing their book club t-shirts, and me and Captain America are just sitting there in our regular street attire, which I will also say too, they like bulked up Captain America in this game. That dude is shoulders, no neck, tiny head bulk.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think he could wipe bulk.
He has people for that. Or magic, maybe.
So it's really funny, just the fact that is just an added layer of detail that didn't need to be there and doesn't really matter. But I still get a chuckle when I show up to book club and everyone's wearing a book club T-shirt except for me. So,
That's so good.
So they just a quick rewind here. I couldn't remember the guy's name. Now I do because I googled it. They've got Rob Liefeld, Captain America, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
The battle system, I mean, the battles and everything is still fun. I have moved the goalposts for the story mode, so I am further along now. They add a feature whenever you fight and defeat a villain in the game, as long as you are not, I guess, story related, like capturing them or ending them or whatever. Whenever you do a side mission, there is a percentage that every time there are reinforcements coming onto the field, the villain will just randomly show up. Oh, okay. And it's a really cool feature because when you were fighting them normally in the story time, you have to down them a certain amount of times. So like the first time you fight Venom, you have to down him twice before he actually goes down. Oh, okay. When you come across villains in like side quests and stuff, you only have to down them once, which is good because depending on the mission that you're on, you can't really prep for the villain to show up. It's kind of just in the moment. And sometimes, depending on the situation, it can really throw a wrench in your plans of what you were planning on doing next because, oh, hey, Venom's here now. So now I have to, instead of take out these 5 minions and these 2 elites, I have to move everything to take him out before he just screws up my day. Right. So that's been really fun and interesting to deal with. So I'm still having a ton of fun with this game. Yeah. The only complaint that I have about it really is that they also have a lot of the comic book drama in here. So there's like a lot of the kind of high school stuff right now that I'm dealing with where it's like, okay, well, we have people from the Avengers who aren't taking the Midnight Suns people seriously, and the Midnight Suns hate that. And yeah, Peter Parker even says it was like, I didn't know that being a superhero meant that I still had to deal with high school drama. Right. Like, yep. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I just love this game. It has been a lot of fun. So I am glad you two talked about it. Right. You and me. So. Right. But that is all I've been playing this week.
Boy, I got a couple things to just blow through here. Finished Pentiment. If you're listening to the audio version of this show, there's a game club out for that right now. Also, a reminder that almost every game club is also a spoiler cast. If you didn't know that as well, this one is particularly spoilery, just because of the nature of the game. So we talked for a while about that whole thing. The next game that we're going to play for Game Club is Signalis. That is also on Game Pass. So if you want to join us for that game, playing something significantly different than the previous game.
I need to get back to that one.
Yeah. So that's out now. I did play a bunch more Dwarf Fortress. The fortress I'm currently on right now is going well to a concerning degree.
Maybe.
So waiting for...
I was half expecting you to finish that sentence with downhill.
Yeah, it's going super well, just straight into hell. But so far it's going okay. I'm still not really sure what I'm going to focus on for this one. Nothing has kind of naturally come up. So we'll kind of see. But I didn't have a ton of time to play that or really anything this week. So not a ton there. My kid and I played a bunch more Pokemon Violet. We finished the Electric Gym. So we have 3 gym badges now.
Nice.
And now we're going to the Water type gym. We did also take down... Oh no, we took down our first Titan Pokemon, but I talked about that a couple weeks ago, whenever that was. So that continues to be kind of the same thing. Nothing super notable happened this week. It's just a lot of I need to level up my other team of Pokemon to take on the water type gym, so let's walk on foot from this one gym to the other one to level them up. So Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
Last game though here, played more Remnant from the Ashes. We went through, so this game is really weird because it seems to be feast or famine when it comes to bosses. A lot of times it seems to be like, all right, you're doing 3 dungeons back to back. It's like, that's sure, that's fine. We're in the kind of famine part of it, where like, yeah, this week you're just gonna fight 3 bosses back to back. We fought a small tree wizard guy that was throwing a ton of poison everywhere.
Yep.
Man, that boss fight sucked real bad. Not necessarily because of the boss, but because of the like seemingly infinite number of mantis people that the boss was throwing us at.
Ads or whatever,
yeah, tons of ads, which is fine. We got there eventually, but it was a lot of like, wait, we're doing okay, and now we're all dead. Oh, this every once in a while he casts magic, and these like explosions come out of the ground, and that seemed to be what was very quickly murdering us. So we did that. We did another. I kind of like how they do some of the dungeons in this game. I know it's procedurally generated, so you're not always going to run into this stuff. But I like every once in a while you kind of go through kind of a winding dungeon area, and then you fight a boss, and when you go through a fog door, it's just like any of the From Software games. You go through a fog door, you fight a boss, and you kind of go through the other side of the arena out through another fog door. But what I like that they've done in this game is oftentimes when you fight a boss and you go through the other side, you're kind of going on the other side of the dungeon you just went through. So like you discover you went through half of the dungeon, and now you're kind of going back the other pathway, or you're kind of like crisscrossing the way you just went to go a different way you didn't know you could go before. It's not like a From Software game where you're opening up a shortcut. It's just this kind of neat thing where it's like, oh, there's like twice the amount of dungeon that we're going through. We didn't know there was more stuff over there. So I kind of like how this game does that.
I was gonna say, I was just sitting here looking at the video you have on here. I don't think I've ever fought this boss that's on here before.
Oh, Claviger? This boss sucks. Yeah, we fought this
doesn't look familiar at all.
That's kind of the thing that I think is kind of neat and kind of frustrating about this game, is that not only are the dungeons procedurally generated, but the bosses you're going to run into aren't going to be the same. It seems like there are, when you go through a fog door, or maybe when it generates the dungeon, in any dungeon, there's 2 or 3 choices for a boss, and you don't get to choose it. It's just which ones you're going to fight. So that has been kind of interesting. We are currently stuck on a boss right now that is super frustrating. This game is a Dark Souls, so we're fighting a boss where it's just like, all right, we're fighting a flying bug boss. This seems pretty cool.
I was gonna say, is it the fairies on the bridge?
Yeah, sure is, where you're like, I'm on a bridge and I'm fighting like a bug fairy thing.
Those things suck.
Yeah, and then it's just like, all right, this seems fairly okay. We've got him down to 25% health. Wait, there's another one. Cool. Yep. Thanks for being a Dark Souls. So it's a lot of like, we're doing pretty okay. Oh, they're charging up an attack. Oh, we're dead. Okay, cool. We ran out of time to like. The thing that I like about this is we're almost never going into a boss fight and just mopping the floor with them. It's usually like, I'm going into a boss fight, they did something, they wiped us immediately. Okay, we're going to go back in there and we're going to figure out how to stop that, or how to mitigate it, or what to do. And I like that, because I feel like in so many of these games you can level up or craft something kind of out of the gate and just steamroll the game. And this game is like, no, man, like you're gonna take the chance to figure out how to fight these bosses, and like you're gonna go through the whole mechanics and really fight these bosses, and I think that's really cool. So Remnant from the Ashes continues to be really cool. it's a Dark Souls. It's got some fun shooting. There's 3 of us. We're each playing a different class, and it's cool. It's just a fun time.
The shooting in this game too feels really good.
Yeah, it's certainly not like the most precise shooting or anything. It's not like the industry's best shooting. It's just fun.
Considering the company that made it, it feels really good.
Yep.
Considering that they mostly just do, sword and board and whatever, and that feels pretty decent. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
Remnant from the Ashes is super cool, and we're not done with the game yet by any stretch, and we're kind of already looking forward to Remnant 2 whenever that comes out. So, go check that out. I like Remnant a lot, and I didn't have any time to really play anything this week, so that's all I got. Let's take a break.
Yep.
All right, we've got enough stuff to talk about here. I need to go take a quick bio break. I will be right back.
okay.
Check.
I will bounce out real quick too.
Hi, chat. It's just me and you and my inability to see right now. Why not, I guess. Just mark a bunch of reminders done that I totally didn't do. Which won't tell me if you don't tell me. Oh, I found my phone. Because of course I did. Yeah. I am tired and beat up. I'm not feeling particularly great. Eh. It is what it is. Wow.
Woo.
Did I try any more Jones this week? I don't know what Jones is.
The Jones soda that we were talking about, the sweet corn thing that you were, and then I brought up the turkey Thanksgiving Jones soda thing.
Yeah, with the migraine, I didn't take the risk this week, so hopefully, because the last thing I needed was, a migraine full on into vomiting everywhere.
So vomiting up sweet corn while you're having a migraine. Yeah, that's
fun for the whole family.
Yes.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of January 30th, 2023. Power Wash Simulator is finally coming out to PS4, PS5, and Switch. I'm going to be buying this as soon as it comes out because I think my wife will really enjoy playing this because I think it's very much the chill experience that she's looking for, and I'm also looking forward to playing it.
You're going to get the Lara Croft DLC?
I believe it's
free. Clean up her mansion? Oh, is it?
Yeah, I
think it is.
Yeah, I think it's free on all platforms as soon as this comes out, which I had to laugh. Someone posted on Twitter, they're like, I don't even understand why this is releasing. And I was like, because it's stupid. Like, why wouldn't you put it down? Like, this sounds like an incredible idea. Like, what?
That brought up the idea of power washing Doom, power washing Halo.
Well, that's what the other cleanup game.
Viscera
cleanup. Viscera cleanup detail.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this kind of like chill kind of a cleanup experience that people seem to really enjoy. So
I mean, I would play power washing Dead Space.
Yeah, 100%. You do once the Ishimura has been fixed.
Shipbreaker Dead Space.
That's right.
Turn the Ishimura into the Enterprise. Is that what you're trying to do here?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Trek to Yomi is coming out on the Switch, if you have not yet played that. Inkulinati is coming out on Xbox One, the Series Console, Switch, and PC. This game looks exactly like Pentiment, except it is a 2D turn-based battler, which is certainly not what I was expecting. I mean, wasn't expecting.
My son and it's the medieval looking one with the Renaissance art. Yeah, my son and I were just looking at this. Okay.
Certainly wasn't expecting there to be 2 medieval art based games coming out in like the same 2 months. So, okay. The universe is weird. Season A Letter to the Future comes out PS4, PS5, and PC. Sony's been really pushing this one for quite a while as kind of their slate of 2023 indie games. Early reviews have come out and have been really, really strong. I don't know too much about this game yet because I've been trying to stay in the dark about it, but it seems like it's kind of one of those sad games that's really up my alley, so I'll probably check that out here pretty soon.
You feel like you need a punch to the gut anytime soon?
Yeah, probably not, but I will.
Yeah.
Deliver Us Mars comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Consoles, and PC. This is a sequel to Deliver Us the Moon. Another one of those
Which was a solid game.
Yes.
Really solid game.
Yeah.
So was the other one, like an Observer or Observation or something like that.
Yeah,
there was like 2
of
them that were like back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice to see they're coming out with a sequel to this. Talking about a punch to the gut, Life is Strange 2 is coming out on the Switch. Boy,
because that's what everybody needs.
Yeah, just one of the heaviest games I think we have ever played. We do have a Game Club episode on that. Once you're done with that, if you want to that.
You want a mobile punch to the gut, or you just want to be at work and cry yourself to sleep?
Yeah,
maybe.
God, man, that game. And lastly, The Pathless comes out on Xbox One, Series Consoles, and Switch. This is a PS5 launch game, that kind of fast-moving archery kind of hunting speedrunning game that I own and I still have not played. It looks cool. Let's move on to news stories. Microsoft had their Developer Direct this week, also known as No, We're Not Showing Starfield, and this one will have its own conference later. As a reminder to people. They showed off Minecraft Legends. They opened the show with that, which I have not been paying attention. That turns out, hey, it's a spiritual successor to Brutal Legend. Cool. I'm glad to see another one of those. I'm sort of pleasantly surprised that that's what the game has turned out into, is like a third-person RTS unit sort of thing. Looks cool. They spent a lot of the conference, the Mojang's kind of portion of that conference talking about the PvP and like the procedurally generated stuff, which is probably not the thing that I'm in there for, but I don't know. That looks cool. It looks like a neat little thing. Forza Motorsport. The release date has been updated to coming 2023, which is still a real bummer. This was mostly tech-focused and kind of number of cars focused and a little bit of audio. There's a lot of like, hey, we got real-time ray tracing. We have procedurally generated clouds, 500 cars, and it's accurate sounds and stuff. And I just still am not there.
Just put the game out so I can not play it and ignore it for the next Horizon game.
Yeah, like it's kind of funny because like I sort of expect that stuff out of Polyphony when they're like, man, we've accurately modeled 7,000 cars this time. Your car specifically that's sitting in your driveway.
Polyphony never accurately modeled 7,000 cars. They accurately modeled like
200
of them in the HD pack,
right?
And everything else was a low poly model.
Forgot about that.
But they
wild
definitely got
weirdness.
the sound captured of the crinkle of leather when you sit down in the driver's seat.
Yeah. So the idea that like Turn 10 is really they're spending the marketing time really pushing that stuff when we haven't seen that much gameplay of it. Still feels really weird, and still feels very much like this is coming out in fall, isn't it? Like this is a November 25th game. Like this is not coming out in March, which is okay, I guess. So we talked about Hi-Fi Rush at the beginning here. So they unveiled that and released that in the same day, which is great. They also spent a whole bunch of time talking about Elder Scrolls Online, unveiling their 530th expansion for Elder Scrolls Online with a new area and a new playable character, and that game continues to just be one of the most quietly successful games on the market at the moment. So
it's the Roblox of MMORPGs.
Yeah, it just keeps on trucking, man. Like kudos to them. And then they close out with Redfall. They showed a ton of gameplay off on this one, kind of across all of the different character classes here. This is coming out May 2nd, 2023.
Hey, Boston.
Yeah.
Hey, Boston. I missed the developer direct. What is it?
It's the vampire Left 4 Dead game.
Yeah,
that looks really cool.
It's if Far Cry...
Is it PvP or PvE or possibly both?
So it's if Left 4 Dead and Far Cry had a baby. So it's the kind of 4-player cooperative PvE experience where you're kind of recapturing zones and going out and doing missions and stuff to kind of capture some parts of this town back from zombies or vampires. Sorry, the other one.
Okay. Dying Light, but with vampires. Roger.
Yeah, but like a game.
And you get to fight, vampire gods.
Yeah, and you have like a little robot buddy.
Yeah.
A lot of people are feeling more positive about Redfall than I am coming out of this conference. I think a lot of the game looks cool, and I think a lot of the powers and the cooperative stuff looks really cool. I don't think the shooting looks very satisfying.
Awesome.
but that's the thing that, like, if you look at a video footage of Prey, 2017's Prey,
it does not look good.
It does not look fun at all. So, like, I give Arcane a lot of wiggle room on, like, yeah, this looks a little bit boring to kind of play from minute to minute, but I'm sure once you get into it, it's just like, yes, me and my X number of friends are having a whole lot of fun just blasting a bunch of vampires in this, Middle Eastern or
Western
this town. Yeah, so
I would say too, that's probably going to be the biggest draw. I don't think it's going to be a good single-player game, even though you can play it fully in single-player, it seems like. I think it's definitely you and your buddies are what's going to make this game very fun.
And that's the best part of it being on Game Pass, is like, hey, all of us need to download this game. We're going to play it on whatever day we play games on. So
yeah.
Sure, I will advise you on both options as and when I am available to.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's going to be the real strength of it, and that's why it reminds me so much of Left 4 Dead, of just like, hey man, we're gonna play this and we're gonna have a bunch of fun, and hey, watch out, an exploding vampire is coming in, that sort of thing.
They did also show off the skill trees too for the characters as well.
They did, yeah, which I was kind of surprised about.
Yeah.
So it's shaping up to look like a cool thing. I think it showed off way better than it did the previous time. I think the last time they showed gameplay, it was sort of like, oh no, like this game is maybe in some trouble, but I think it looked way, way better this time. So I'm excited to see how it shapes up, and as soon as I can preload it on Game Pass, I definitely will. It's something. I'll check out a new Arcane game. Like, you don't have to twist my arm about it. That's for sure.
Like the Prey Renaissance that seems to be happening recently, by the way.
Yeah.
Where everyone seems to be talking about Prey again, and it's like,
yeah,
cool, great. More people should
go play Prey. Go play it on your Series X, because the improvements they did with the FPS boost and the SSD, like that makes it a huge difference for that game. Because boy, those loading screens, especially when they run into a loading screen that loads another loading screen, that was rough. That game is great, but woof, boy. That's all they showed off. It was like 45 minutes, so they kind of took a deep dive on all 5 of those games, and I like that Microsoft has started doing these. I would like to see them do. You don't have to do them like every month or whatever, but I'd like to see every couple of months, like them do like, hey, here's a bunch of games that are coming out this year, or maybe in the next couple of months. Here's a deep dive into some gameplay. Here's what the studio's been working on. Here's a focus on PvP. You know, I'd like these deeper dives into it that we don't have to have at not E3 every year. So
as long as I don't have to listen to people fake microphone conversations of, hey, I'm going dark on
oh no, a
Point
Tango's
Charlie.
breaching the East door.
Exactly.
It's like, stop it, Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Put it away. Next news story here, Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 is launching in May.
Yes, it is.
If you, thankfully, the studio made enough money on the first one to sort of put out a sequel to this. They're running with empty pockets here for quite a while. But they showed off they put out a huge trailer for this that's pretty long about all the new systems. Unfortunately, you can still sacrifice your kids, but they also have a different system where you can not sacrifice them permanently, but you can shove a kid in a different gun to do a less strong attack that knocks them out until you get to the next intermission, which is a little bit better. Saying it is also still bad, makes me feel like a bad person. But that seems
You're an
like
American dude.
That's true. Yeah, put those kids in those guns. But that seems like a better kind of middle ground. That sounds pretty good. There's a judgment system where you're kind of making. It seems like from the trailer, kind of binary choices about how the game is gonna, the story is gonna branch off. I'm not expecting anything super crazy about that. I'm almost expecting it to be more like Paragon Renegade, where it's like you get the evil ending because you picked the evil choices. So
yeah, they kind of made it seem like you would just get skills based on, hey, you were a great leader, so you have great leader skills, or you were a bad leader, so now you have bad leader skills.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of neat. There is a new tank in this game. They named it, and I will probably never remember the name because the beginning of this game takes place a year after the end of the first game, and apparently the tank you're in the first game goes berserk. And the 5 kids from the first game, including a new kid, are kind of
vanilla.
Vanilla. Oh, these names are so good. But they're kind of tasked with improving and getting the new tank up and running. And on this one is going to be on all platforms again. So all PlayStation, all Xbox, Switch, Epic Game Store, Steam, kind of everything here on was it May?
It's on Game Pass, May 2nd or 3rd or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty early in May, so look for that in May and on my top 10 list. Unless they just like totally miss on this game, it will probably be another super, super good one.
Yeah, because they even talked about like branching paths and being able to use like new kinds of vehicles and stuff like that to get to different paths and all that. So
yeah, they showed like a blimp where it's like, hey, do you want to go to this? Take a blimp to go to the other like path on the
lane.
FTL. Yeah. So it looks largely like the same kind of base as the first game, where you have the kind of rock paper scissors, the red, yellow, and blue units that you're kind of counteracting. I kind of appreciate that they removed half of the characters from the game, because by the end of that first game, juggling 12 or 13 or however many characters there were felt like a lot.
I was going to say, because everyone usually ended up with like their set 6.
Yeah, and you're kind of like flip-flopping
the shared skills and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I feel like pulling back some of that and instituting other systems that aren't around kind of managing the day-to-day lives of the kids, I think that's going to make a pretty big difference in a positive way. So very excited. I love that first game a lot. Also, they reiterated there's a pretty big demo for the first game. I think you can play the first 3 chapters, which is a lot of that first game, and your data carries over between the demo and the first game, and the full version of the first game. So if you want to try this game, that's a good couple of hours. Is those first 3 chapters of Fuga? So go check it out. And lastly, another announcement here: Xenotilt was announced. This is a sequel to Demon's Tilt, which is that like TurboGrafx 16 inspired like fantasy pinball game that I think we all kind of liked largely.
It was pretty solid. It gave good old school pinball vibes.
Yeah. So this one is going to be moving to kind of more of a sci-fi vibe, like a robot modification kind of vibe. It's also adding guns in some sort of way. And
hey, Demon still had spells.
That's a good point. So
guns are just 20th century spells. That's all.
That's right. It's just future magic. So there's a good I'll put the link to the PC Gamer announcement here. They got the kind of exclusive interview with the developer here. And the developer is basically like, I'm putting a lot of stuff in this game. No one can tell me no, and I have a lot of cool ideas, so it's all going in to Xenotilt. So like, you better get ready for a bunch of mechanics. I was like, you know what?
Oh no,
I respect that.
This is either going to be real bad or it's going to be too human.
Right. Yeah, I kind of like Too Human, so I'll probably like Xenotilt. But that's all of our news stories this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including the YouTube channel. Don't forget to go like, comment, and subscribe over there. Reminder that everything we put out kind of here on the public feed, we have a video version of. So like the game club we just recorded for Pentiment, you can watch us struggling to figure out how to talk about a very weird game over there. So go check that out. Anything we typically, just as a note here too, anything we typically post just on Discord doesn't have a video version usually. So that shouldn't really be an expectation.
Just on Discord or just on Patreon?
Sorry, Patreon. We've been recording too much today. I've had too much caffeine and not enough food, and I'm on the downslope of that equation.
So, my question is let's bring a foodcast back. What should I order?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Chinese.
Tell us in oh yeah, I could go for some Chinese food. No, focus. Patreon.com/E1M1.
Mongolian beef.
Little Caesars, dude.
Oh man, no! Stop it!
Well, you didn't say you wanted cheap food. You just said food. So I was giving you.
I'll always go for cheap. Anyways, Patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers. And speaking of that, numbers of pizzas I should order: 1 or 11.
11
forever. We talked about all the cool stuff you get at the beginning of the show. Don't forget, premiering on February 14th is going to be the brand new show, The Wayward Sons. These two have decided to take on a massive undertaking for a show that is famously incredibly long.
No. Hold on. Massive undertaking. We roguelike it.
I mean, you guys at least have like an end goal. Like that show has ended. Steam keeps
recently.
Valve has like 10 roguelikes on Steam a day. Like it's just.
Hey, if all goes well, we have the spin-off show to watch too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There's also an animation show.
Perfect. Let's keep the train rolling.
I got trivia notes everywhere for this.
20 years. Let's hit it. Yeah.
There was a spin-off that never took off, but there's a script out there somewhere.
Oh, live reading. Let's go. So you can that starts on February 14th. Like we talked about at the beginning. The first episode will be publicly available on both the Patreon page for free and here on the public feed. And then future episodes will be Patreon exclusive at the $5 tier or higher. If you can support us financially, it's a huge help. It pays for a lot of our software and a bunch of our hosting and all of that stuff. Just thanks, Adobe. Everything just keeps getting more expensive. I super appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Thanks, capitalism.
Yeah, thanks, Adobe. Software is getting more expensive and still can't remember that I'm recording an episode between episodes. Super appreciate that. Thank you. 2 thumbs up.
I don't know what you're talking about. My audio preferences have changed.
That's right. I'm going to check that checkbox that says, don't tell me again. I know, because I opened Audition. If you can't support us financially, please share episodes you love on social media. Please go tell your friends. Please rate us the maximum number of stars or points or doubloons or whatever you can. If you have a negative opinion about the show, just don't tell anyone. No one needs. If you have constructive criticism, go find me on Discord. You can tell me after you sign up.
We are not Joe Rogan.
That's right.
We all have full-time jobs.
Boy, are we not Joe Rogan in thought or ideas or premise. Or...
Thank goodness.
Okay, we're not a celebrity podcast. How about
That's
that?
right.
There you go.
We actually
didn't complain about a dying
out.
industry and put out 5 episodes to help support it.
Got him.
I just found out that the first 2 seasons of the OC Watchcast went to hidden behind a paywall.
Boo. Boo hiss.
Screw yourself.
That's right. Not like this show that has all 797 episodes available in this very feed.
There was 6 ad reads an episode, and then they hide the first 2 seasons behind a paywall. It's like, go away.
That stinks. That stinks for everyone. Everybody loses. Yikes. Anyways, patreon.com/humanm1.
The ones and numbers.
No ads here.
Yeah, that's our only ad read is, hey, help us pay for hosting. That stuff is expensive. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Delicious water. I love it. Okay. Nimp, what titles do you have?
I have.
That's great.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Mm-hmm.
My boys have left me.
Okay.
I have a weird thing for dragons. Snooty British accent. Need more bodies for tribute. Stomp wins. Boston with a whip. And Hunster monsters.
All right, Moon, what do you have?
Okay, gonna go through these quick. Nimp and I are stupid. We don't want it anymore. My addictive personality sounds like a reality TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. Just stop it. Fulton the Velociraptor. He got a voice. Appreciate. Hunster Monster Rise. It's giving the vibes. Bit by a fish. Filling jars. Pre-Renaissance. 20th century spells / future magic. Take your pick. And my audio preferences have changed.
I feel like if you're a podcaster, that's like a knife to the heart. I have one big smile. Also, the one that I'm disappointed you guys missed was appreciate, which is, I feel like
I literally just said
he
that.
said it.
Oh, I thought you said pray. Oh, I missed it because I was focused on the Renaissance.
Fulton a Velociraptor. He got a voice. Appreciate. Hunster Monster Rise.
I'm in a book club. I have a weird thing for dragons, and Fulton a Velociraptor.
I think it's Fulton a Velociraptor.
Oh, I'm good with that. I think that's a great title. I'm circling that. I'm ready when you guys are.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Oh my. Wow. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 797 for January 30th, 2023. Fulton a Velociraptor.
Not so clever girl.
Now we just have to explain how portals work in this game.
Moon. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching and whatnot. I hope we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Oi.
Bye.